Like he said, my name is Thad Sweigart. My full name is Thaddeus William Sweigart.
Ow!
Ooh, I got that name from my grandfather. He died after he fell into a shark tank. Well, James Bond pushed him. Now, I do have some prepared, statements to tell you tonight, but before I got here, I stopped for dinner at Chili's, and I feel like this encounter was so weird, so outrageous, that I would be remiss not to tell you right now. So, I sit down at Chili's, and order my food, and I'm sitting there, thinking about whatever it is I'll be telling you people tonight, and then from behind me comes a woman, walking like this. And this woman is not a normal woman. This woman has connected to a belt loop via a piece of ribbon, a pair of scissors. And then she turns to me, attached, I should look at you guys when I do this, attached to her navel, a flower of uninflated balloons. And she looks at me with her frazzled red hair, and she says, "You want a party, boy?" And I'm like, "I'm good." So she turns away, and she walks. And I think to myself, my, that was interesting. My food comes, and I think I'm safe. But, table next to me, family sits down, and in that family is a small child that's like blood in the water for this crazy balloon lady. She comes over to the table, again, shambling. Like, if you got balloons attached to your crotch, first of all, try to look happier. And you're here for the children. Hopefully, you're here for the children. And she says, "Would you like me to make your child a balloon animal?" Just as I did, as if she just hit puberty. But the mother agrees, and she's making the balloon, and I'm sitting there eating my soup. And the mom, when the woman finally produces a spider, Mom says, "Oh, that's so great. How'd you learn to do that?" And Mom says, "In prison." I'll end it with that, because that's not a joke, that's just a thing that happened. So, somebody at work, he asked me, "Hey, can you pick up my shift on April 20th? He said, "It's a holiday that I celebrate." And I know what you're thinking. Hitler's birthday is not a holiday. April 20th, 1889, never forget. Apparently, April 20th is also International Pot Day. To which I replied, upon learning this, "No, I'm not going to pick up your shift on International Pot Day. Why don't you just smoke pot after work?" And he said, "I'd be too tired to smoke pot after work." Which really flies in the face of the spirit of International Pot Day. I mean, where would International Pot Day be if Willie Nelson ever decided he was too tired to smoke pot? Where would the civil rights movement be if Rosa Parks said she was too tired to get on that bus? Where would we be if Hitler said he was too... Okay, just the first two things. Sorry, I got Hitler on the brain. So, I was on Facebook, as I do every once in a while. I'm not a big Facebook guy. And I saw a post on my wall. It said, "Casey Williams was stricken in her freshman year of college with an incurable disease. And knowing the group of amoral reprobates that I have on my friends list, I thought, ooh, this is going to end with a zinger. But it ended with, but thanks to the Affordable Care Act, she can now get the medical attention that she needs. And I saw that it was posted by Barack Obama, who's on my friends list, apparently. And I thought, it's not funny. Deeper end. evil twin is here tonight. He's in the back. He's the one wearing the U-neck that he got in Utah from a eunuch. He's in law school. I do this. But hey, I've got a tie on. And we were talking about judges. And apparently, you don't have to have a law degree to be a judge. In fact, you don't have to have anything to be a judge. And it made me think, I could be a judge. All I have to do is win an election, and in our modern democracy, I don't really foresee that being a problem. The only obstacle I would have to overcome is my complete inability to take anything seriously, coupled with a job that has me wearing flowing robes and sitting behind a bench that conceals everything that happens beneath my shoulders. I heard about a judge who, while he was behind the bench, he would pleasure himself with a penis pump. And it made me think about pumps behind the bench. And I promise I thought of this joke before my incident at Chili's. It made me think about making balloon animals underneath my robe. So while people would be making their arguments, you would just hear, squeak, 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 squeak. I didn't practice this at home with a microphone. Anyway. Every now and then I would say, "Counsel, please approach the bench." Again, I didn't practice at home with a microphone. He would come up to the bench. I'm not going to walk any farther away from the stage. Apparently, I've got some kind of security device on here. And he would say, "Yes, Your Honor." Does this look like a monkey to you? Has anyone ever seen one of those stores that you think to yourself, I can't imagine how this store stays in business? Yes, there's a store like this that I drive past every day. It's in a strip mall, which is where these stores are created. And it's the top hat and bow tie store. And I think, now there are only two types of people that this store could appeal to, and that is magicians and people who just won the lottery and don't know where rich people buy their clothes. Now, I'm not a scientist. In fact, routinely reiterated to me by my friends. But I can't imagine that there's a thriving magician and redneck lottery winner in Texas to the point where this store could stay, viable. And it leads me to my own theory, which is people like myself who have way too much free time, but in addition, have way too much money. Because if I had enough money where I didn't have to work, I know the first thing I would do is grow a mustache and open a decorative soup spoon store. No, I'm just kidding. If I were going to start a business, it would be a mortuary run by prostitutes. It's the two things that are always going to sell. Embalming for dead people and sex. I would call it Thad's House of Bones. That's an awkward segue for this, but I was watching Aladdin with my niece the other day. I don't have a niece, but it makes the setup for this less awkward. And we can all agree. Thank you, only black guy here tonight. I was cracking up and Matt was making those black people jokes like, it's so risky in here. That one guy is going to take the stage. But, back on point, we can all agree that Aladdin is set in the Middle East, right? Like, that's where this is set. I find it a little bit odd that not only does Aladdin not have a beard, but he has no body hair whatsoever. And you have to think, his best friend in the movie is also a shirtless guy who only appears when you rub his lamp. He's got a pet monkey, which I guess could suggest a lot of things. And he keeps getting hypnotized by Jafar's staff. It makes me wonder just how long Aladdin and Jasmine would be together before she found him trying on her clothes. Speaking of hairless guys wearing women's clothing, I've been working out. Trying to get in shape. I usually give up my workout routines, but this time I have a workout buddy. He's a paramedic. He has to exercise so he can lift fat people into gurneys. And I'm not sure how long this is going to last, though, because the first time we were working out together, we did some warm-ups and okay, we went to go do crunches, work on our core. And as we get into the position, he's like, all right, now man, when you're doing this, you want to be careful not to do too many, because you can crap out your intestines. I've seen it happen. And I say, well, you know what? I'm not really concerned with doing that, man. Because, quite frankly, sitting in this position is about as much as my abdomen can take right now. And he said, no, man, you gotta be careful. I've seen dudes shit out their intestines. Like, okay, I get it. That's a terrible image. You don't have to keep telling me. He's like, no, man, you don't get it. It's like if you take a sleeve and turn it inside out. And I'm like, I have a vivid imagination. I can visualize this. You don't need to tell me. He's like, yeah, but imagine if that skin, or the sleeve was made of skin. And it was, okay, I get it. So we do crunches. Then we move on to pull-ups. He's like, all right, man, careful, because you can shit out. You know what? I don't know how long. I don't think it's gonna work out. So I'm gay. I'm a gay man, but I have a lot of straight friends. And they're the same boo earns. Boo earns. But no, I have a lot of male friends, and we're guys, so we like to talk about sex. And to make the stories more appealing to them, I like to translate my pronouns for them. I'll change him to her, so it'll go something like this, like, man, guys, I met this chick at a bar last night. She was so hot, and she had the tightest ass. We went back to her place, we had a couple of drinks, I sucked her cock. My parents are here tonight, by the way. She said, when are we going to get to come and see you perform? And I said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with jokes about me masturbating? And she said, Thad, that's terrible. I said, so, 4? Joe, why are you laughing like... I don't know. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm about to hit my time, so I'm going to do something I promised not to. I said I wouldn't do a Christopher Walken impression. But I'm not going to do the one I normally do. I'm going to do a new one. This is my impression of Christopher Walken auditioning for the part of Judge Dredd. All right, Mr. Walken, if you want to read the lines there. I am the law. I'm not feeling this right now. I mean, this movie's set in the future, right? Yeah. I have to imagine that in the distant future, the way social trends are going, that any society would be far more egalitarian and not run by a totalitarian police state. And that's what I'm thinking. Why don't you give the pot alone? He looks better in shoulder pads anyway. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.